Sweetheart, let's have you walk on your own. Oksana placed her 4-year-old daughter, Eva, on the snow-covered sidewalk. You're already a big girl, Heavy. Mommy is tired, really. The girl, looking like a little bear, dressed in a warm winter snowsuit and a fluffy hat, sighed and nodded. That's good. Oksana also sighed, but with relief, not sorrow like her daughter. Eva often complained about her legs, so Oksana would sometimes carry her in her arms. The doctors couldn't find any issues, but the surgeon explained that the girl was growing quickly and her bones couldn't keep up with her growth. That's why she felt discomfort. Maybe we should buy you a sled, huh? Oksana suddenly had an idea. How had she not thought of this before? It was all her mother and sister's fault. She had to solve their problems too. She never had time for herself. Oksana was the eldest daughter in her family. She married young and had Eva when she was 24. Her husband was a policeman and died on duty when Eva turned 1. Since then, she had been raising Eva on her own. It was hard being alone with a small child when there was no one to help or support her in difficult moments. Oksana had asked her mother, Valentina Petrovna, to watch Eva a few times, but always ran into a wall of misunderstanding. "Why are you complaining?" Valentina would say. "You're getting paid for losing your breadwinner. Hire a nanny. You know I have high blood pressure and arthritis. Plus, I get tired at work. A little child is just stress. Mum, maybe Sasha could come over to watch her. I just need to run to the clinic for a checkup. I'll only be gone an hour," Oksana would plead. "Why should I? Sasha has her own life. She'll be busy with her own kids. Her mother would defend her younger daughter by any means." "Mum, she doesn't have kids." Oksana was hurt that she could never get any help. "No, she will." Valentina Petrovna would finish the conversation, and Oksana had no choice but to take little Eva with her. It got easier when Oksana started working and sent Eva to kindergarten, but still, Oksana realized that without proper rest, she was becoming like an old aunt, a tired, irritable aunt. Moreover, her mother often asked Oksana to order things for her from online stores. She'd watch commercials on TV and then constantly ask her daughter, "I really need a belt made of young Cheburashka's whiskers for sciatica." Or, Marina Tarasovna from the first entrance bought a robot massager for her daughter. "She looks 10 years younger. I need something like that for my health," Valentina Petrovna would tell Oksana enthusiastically. No matter how hard Oksana tried to talk her out of unnecessary spending, her mother always insisted, "Are you really too cheap to help your own mother? You raise a child, you stay up all night, and you get nothing in return." And Oksana had to buy all this nonsense, even though she knew her mother would use it only once. She would limit herself in everything, taking money from her meager savings for her mother's whims. That's how they lived. Oksana worked, supported her daughter, and made her mother happy, while Sasha built a family and lived for her own pleasure. But that pleasure didn't last long. Almost immediately after the wedding, Sasha got pregnant and had a child. Sasha's husband worked on shifts, and Valentina often helped her younger daughter, taking care of her granddaughter. Suddenly, her high blood pressure, arthritis, and sciatica were nowhere to be found. "Mom, can I bring Eva over to you for a couple of hours?" "I want to go to the hairdresser," Oksana asked one day, realizing she needed a little break. "Why do you need to go to the hairdresser?" Valentina Petrovna asked, surprised. "Who are you going to impress? You have a child, take care of her. Plus, Sasha wanted to come with her family." "Well, you can come too, and help me make dinner and set the table while Eva plays with Liza." "Yes, I'll get it together now." "Mom," Oksana started, but her mother would never tolerate objections. "I'm expecting you by 3 o'clock." Oksana had no choice but to go to her mother's house on her day off. "Why do you always act like you're suffering?" Valentina Petrovna scolded her when Oksana and Eva arrived to make dinner for dear guests. "You're tired? What do you do that's so tiring? You only have one child. You don't have to cook for a husband. Clean up after him or wash and iron. Don't tell me you're tired from work. I know your job, sitting all day tapping on the computer. Sasha has it hard when Ivan leaves for his shift. And why does she have it hard? She stays with one child too. Oksana was upset. Does she take him his lunch every day on his shift? Does she wash and iron his clothes every day? Besides, you're constantly at her place. Don't compare. She worries about her husband. You don't have anyone to worry about. I told you not to marry that Fiedka. You'd regret it. I was right. Mom, what are you talking about? Fiedka died. How can you say that? Oksana threw the knife she was using to cut sausage, sat down at the table, and covered her face with her hands. Oh, stop with the drama, her mother scolded. Sasha will be here soon. The last thing we need is for everyone to see your sour face. Ava, put the cheese back. Valentina saw the girl grab a piece of cheese off the plate and snapped at her. Mom, what's wrong with you? Oksana was stunned. She just took one piece of cheese. I just wanted to say she'll ruin her appetite and won't want to eat later. Valentina Petrovna fumbled for an excuse when she realized she had spoken without thinking. Mom, I'm bored. Eva tugged at Oksana's pant leg. What kind of child is this? She can't entertain herself. Valentina grumbled angrily. Wait, Eva, Liza will be here soon, and it'll be fun. Sasha and her family were late by 2 hours, and Eva had to go to bed soon. Despite her mother's grumbling, Oksana fed her daughter and got ready to leave when her sister and family finally arrived. Oh, Oksana, hi, she greeted her older sister with a smile. Hey, can you lend me some money, please? I want to go to the spa. I don't get it. Isn't your husband working shifts to earn money? And you're asking me, a single mother, for money? Don't count our money, Sasha snapped. We're saving up for a dacha. Are you planning to buy a dacha too? Actually, Valentina chimed in, what's the comparison? Ivan works hard for that money and you get handouts from the government and you're still being stingy. So maybe Sasha wants to start getting benefits for the loss of her breadwinner too. Oksana couldn't take it anymore and got angry at her mother. Ugh, ugh, ugh. Her mother spat over her left shoulder and knocked on the table. Don't talk like that. Do you both think I'm getting millions for Fiedka's death? Did you ever consider that Eva is growing and I need to buy her new shoes and clothes every season? I have to buy a sled. And nobody is giving me a free pass for swimming lessons. And I didn't just find myself in the trash. I want to do things for myself too, like getting a manicure or a haircut. And don't even get me started on the spa. But none of you are rushing to bring me money or watch my child while I take care of myself. After saying all that, Oksana grabbed her daughter's hand and hurried to leave before she got into a full-blown argument with everyone. She felt her face burning with anger until late at night. They're talking about me, let them, Oksana whispered to herself as she tucked Eva into bed. One day we'll get rich and we'll go on vacation. To visit Grandfather Frost? Eva smiled as she fell asleep. It was already December, and preparations for the New Year celebrations were in full swing. We'll go to see him too, Oksana promised her daughter. A few days passed. Oksana received a good bonus at work and accidentally mentioned it to her mother. It wasn't long before her sister called. Oksana, hi, Sasha greeted her cheerfully. We're planning to spend New Year's with friends. You know, with a child, you can't really go anywhere or rest, and Mum can't handle Liza alone. Could you hire a nanny for us? Oksana was stunned by such audacity. Sasha interpreted it her own way. Well, if you're too stingy with the money, you can sit with the kids. After all, you're not going anywhere. What's your problem? You're always hovering over Eva, can't leave her for a minute. I'm not a nanny, and I'm not watching your child. Oksana didn't want to listen to any more and hung up in silence. 5 minutes later, her mother called. She already complained. Oksana sighed. Why do you hang up the phone when I'm talking to you? Her mother immediately started. The girl has been taking care of her child all year and wants to rest, have some fun, and you're throwing obstacles in her way. Mom! Oksana couldn't take it anymore and shouted into the phone. I haven't rested a minute in 4 years, not a single minute to just relax. I've never been to a hairdresser. I look like a grey mouse with a scruffy tail on my head. Because you can't or won't watch my child. But I have to drop everything and watch Sasha's daughter because she's tired after a year. No, I'm not a slave. You had kids, take care of them. From now on, don't count on me. And she hung up. Her mother tried calling a few more times, but Oksana wouldn't pick up. She was shaking with anger over her relative's impudence. A call from work helped her regain control. Oksana, hi, a union activist called. We've got tickets for a trip to Veliki Ustyug. It's called Visiting Grandfather Frost. Do you want to go with Ava? She's at the right age, right? Think about it and let me know tomorrow. What luck! Oksana could hardly believe it. Picking up Eva from kindergarten, she asked her if she wanted to go. To Grandfather Frost? Eva's eyes lit up. She jumped up and clapped her hands. Of course I want to. Oksana calculated her finances, set aside some for the salon, and got her hair done. Wow, how much a new hairstyle can change a person, she thought, surprised at how much younger and fresher she looked in the mirror. Even Eva exclaimed, "Mom, you're so beautiful, like Snow Maiden." On December 30th, Valentina Petrovna came to Oksana's house. She rang the doorbell and knocked for half an hour, but there was silence behind the door. They left. The neighbour from the landing couldn't stand the noise and peeked out. Left? Where to? Valentina was stunned. She had come to convince Oksana to let Sasha and her husband go to their friend's New Year party. To Grandfather Frost, the neighbour laughed, seeing Valentina's shocked expression. Then, seriously, she added, "They packed their bags and left, so don't knock anymore, or I'll have to call the police." Valentina Petrovna realized that from that day on, she couldn't count on her older daughter anymore. Meanwhile, Oksana and Ava, sitting on the upper bunk in the train compartment, marveled at the snowy forests and fields passing by the window, feeling incredibly happy.